All right, we are in post show.
We weren't even.
No, that's
So we're
all
talking
of
to
that-
ourselves
no,
right
yeah,
there.
this was just for our own.
This is only for live audience members.
Yeah. Oh, you people listening on the recorded version, you fucked up.
Oh, you missed it.
The stuff we just said was just like, wow. Like, it's changed my life personally.
Like, I'm a Christian now.
And we hate him even more than the beginning of the show.
All right, so we've got a couple of things to talk about. I want to talk about boobs, but that's really nonsense. So let's push that back a little bit. I want to talk about your coworker thing, unless you want to.
Well,
jump
because I wanted to see about what that girl was talking about, what that meant. But
what girl?
Oh, the body part with the anus thing.
yeah,
I forgot about that.
Google that and I'll talk.
Kundalini. So this is from the show Kundalini.
Did you find it? You find it? Because I want to know what that is.
It's not very entertaining.
Oh,
Kundalini. Oh wait.
I assume it's something about anatomy.
Okay.
Kundalini.
Kundalini. Okay.
Brown back.
You seriously go.
I'm so pissed right now. Heggy said what appears to be an awesome curse word, and I can't fucking read it.
I don't see it.
I don't know. I have
I don't
OB
care.
with freaking stars around it.
It's nothing with me. Okay.
Boobs. It filtered boobs for crying out loud.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay, so Kundalini in yogic theory is primal energy or Shakti located at the base of the spine. So, Argue,
Okay, so
What
the
was Rachel
primal
saying?
energy
It's your coccyx, basically.
it penetrated at her anus meridian.
yeah, that's basically what, yeah. So during the show, Rachel said, "My Kundalini accidentally sodomized my meridian."
Yeah.
So that's exactly right. That's exactly.
Because it sounds like the coccyx, right? Like that would be what the Gundalini
You
is.
watch your mouth. All right, so let's talk about. So what were you? So you have Christian coworkers.
yes.
They now know that you were an atheist. They didn't know for a while, right?
I went to drink after work with 3 coworkers. 2 of them already knew and had drinks with me before the show, so they already knew that I wasn't.
And when you
Out
drink, you
atheist.
just start talking.
Oh yeah. And at the same time, they're actually like very, very.
Do you tell them all your deepest, darkest secrets?
Oh, you wouldn't even know.
I would know. I've been around her when she's drinking. I know all of her secrets.
But they're actually like very encouraging and positive. Like I work in a very small company, to where it's we're really close, which is kind of weird. There's literally one person in the building that will probably never ever find out I'm an atheist. And today she was in my office thanking God that her niece was born, and I was just like, oh wow, thank goodness the doctors were there, right?
Right.
So it's just like, okay, sure. And she says that in front of me, to where I'm like totally sure she's the only one that doesn't know, when like everybody else in the building knows.
Or she does know, and that's why she's in there doing that. Because, like I said,
It's just real passive aggressive.
Yeah,
See,
trying to make you
Christians
uncomfortable.
do that.
No, but she's older, and so I don't think that there's any way. Like, there's just no way with this woman. Like,
Petey.
Oh,
You're
for
so
real?
young and innocent, and
I'm so new to the
Yeah.
world.
Just gray hairs can be vindictive as shit.
I have gray hair, motherfucker.
Not you, the old
No,
You know she's got hearing aids, so she can hear everything in the
cranking that
office.
shit up in the other room.
I really don't believe she knows, but it's besides the point. So a new guy came today to have drinks with us, and so we're talking, and he was like, "Oh, so we're having drinks," and like, I was like, "Oh yeah, but I can only be here for about an hour and 15 minutes because I got to go to the show." And he was like, "Oh, what show?" And I'm like, "Oh, I do a podcast." And he was like, "Oh, well, how do I get to listen to this podcast?" And I told him about Ustream TV and just look up Atheist Airwaves. And he was like, "Well, how did you come to that?" And I was like, "Well, because I'm an atheist. I didn't think about why I'm an atheist. I just thought, oh, I do the podcast because I'm an atheist." And he was like, "Well, how'd you come to that?" I was like, "Oh, being an atheist." And I was like, "Well, it took a long time." And so I kind of went into like the history of like, it really did take me a long time. And I went back and forth, and I come from a huge Catholic family, and I really do think my parents are very disappointed and hurt. Like, they blame themselves, the whole
Right.
thing. And so we kept on talking, and then we went on to it. And then, of course, because they're very encouraging, they like, "Oh, so what are you going to talk about on the show?" So we went into a couple of the stories, just, high level.
That's pretty nice of them to like pretend to continue to be interested.
Yeah. I mean, we're drinking, we're having a good time, to where I was just like, okay, sure, fine. So we talk about it. Well, we talk about the kid being sick.
the slap
and-
therapy kid.
Yes, and coming off, and they all have kids. And so they were just like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, yeah, we have so much science and, medical history to where it's like, staying on this medication, especially with diabetes, not that it's curable, but the whole,
It helps you manage it.
you know,
It's manageable.
you can live with it, you know, at least until whatever.
Yeah, you can live a relatively healthy life.
And to her, I was like, yeah,
Until Muslims kill you for drawing Muhammad, you're fine.
as long as you're not a cartoonist, you'll be all right. To her, it was just like, okay, sure. And he was like, yeah, but what about Galahar? Why don't they fix Galahar? And I was like, are we talking about potholes? And I was so excited about talking about potholes with these people.
Yeah, you were.
And they totally went into it. I was just like, we're not talking about potholes now, are we? I was like, you guys have no idea how big of a thing it is in my life about potholes.
It's like, I'm part of a Facebook group. It's kind of a big deal.
And I totally showed them the pictures, and they were like, right? They're like everywhere, and nobody's doing anything about it. But they're just keep on repaving and paving roads and repaving and paving roads, the wrong roads.
For those of you playing at home, I got into a conversation with someone on Facebook who had started his own. We live in Nueces County, and he had started Nueces County for Rand Paul. And I was like, I bet I can find, you know, he had like 40 people in his group, and he was so proud. He was so proud of it. I was like, I bet you I can find more people in Nueces County who are fans of potholes than are fans of goddamn Rand Paul. And so I created this group, and it has like taken on a life of its own. It's a thing now.
It's totally a thing because everybody cares about it. Because
Yes.
these three people were like all in and telling me about all these potholes on their streets and like describing them
Yeah.
to me. And I was like, you should be part of this group.
I swear to God, like, I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into Corpus Christi atheists. Nothing has taken off or been as popular as Nueces County pothole fans.
It's hilarious.
But it also has strayed into really deep social commentary, masquerading as pothole haters and lovers. It has been really fun.
A lot of fun. You damn dirty holers.
Fucking drainers.
I was so floored, and I'm like cracking up while they're talking about potholes, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm totally great. You don't even worry about it. Just keep talking about potholes to me." And so yeah.
Yeah, I was in California. I was trying to find like potholes there, but like they take care of their roads.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it, I need a rare and exotic Californian pothole to post in my group.
We went home, and I was looking for one in Jim Wells County. Couldn't find one. I'm just saying.
Oh dear. So did you have something else that you wrote down, or was that it?
There was the Galahar thing that there were.
Okay.
He was just so excited about. What about Galahar? And he was just so passionate about Galahar, and I was just like, yeah, tell me more about it. I want to know about that.
So I had a thought on my way over here tonight.
Was it before or after the accident?
Before, because like after the accident was like literally like 10 seconds
Yeah.
from
I was
where,
literally like 5 seconds away from
Yeah.
Josh's house.
like when I came down here, like everyone else was standing in Josh's front yard. Like we heard something, and
We totally heard it in the backyard.
yeah. So anyway, ooh, Ustreamer 5551 makes a good point. Ustreamer says that there is no rain in California, and that helps them not have potholes as well.
Actually, they said that water helps make potholes, and if you were...
Oh, don't even start it, you dirty drainer.
Stop trying to pour your bigoted stuff down my throat.
Okay, so I was thinking on the way over here, and I purposefully, like, I was sitting there, I'm thinking I could look this up, but I'm not going to because it'd be far more fun to just talk about it. How do my basic question is, why are boobs so awesome?
Because you're conditioned to love them as a child, right? I mean,
I don't think that's
so.
it. I think there's.
well, it's an instinctual thing.
Yes, I believe it's genetic. I believe I want to say it's an evolution. It's a product of evolution. But how the fuck does that work?
Okay, so I have a question. Is there...
I thought you were going to have an answer.
No,
That would have
no,
been
no, no,
amazing.
Well, because I kind of have an answer.
The question
but-
to me is do do big boobies, are they better at rearing children and feeding children?
Well,
Because I don't
I
think
believe so.
I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
because smaller ones can produce just as much, if
That's
not
what I-
more.
that's what I
milk,
was gonna
so-
say.
I don't know if that's true, but I know I like bigger ones better than smaller ones.
Well,
I like smaller ones better than bigger ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I like bigger ones
Well,
better.
as far as like the evolution, like from
I think there's-
what little I've read about it, like as far as evolution goes, the children that are able to latch on and feed from their mother's breast are more likely to survive because they won't die during childhood or during their infancy because they'll be fed, and so over time, it develops into an instinctual habit for that species to latch on to the darker area of the nipple and to get food from that. That's and it and just like any other instinct that any other animal has to mate at certain places or to be able to
But-
walk from birth, things like that.
Wait. Because I can totally get how, a Bolivian fruit fly can, you've got this fruit fly family and there's a certain flower with a certain pattern on it and the flies that are, and it has a lot of food value and the flies that are attracted to it survive and the flies that are not attracted to it die. So I get how evolution works for that. But how does evolution create boob fetishes?
Well, as you can actually kind of tell in recent times, since more people are switching over to formula and things like that, more and more children are unable to latch on at birth, whereas back 50, 60 years ago, latching wasn't
true?
as big as a problem.
I'm
From
unaware of
what I've read, I'm not like some huge mommy bloggy person. I just from the little bit I've read about it.
Well, see, I just think if the formulas weren't around then, they didn't have a choice to where it's like they were going to do it or they
and so the
weren't gonna
healthier
do it.
children would breastfeed, and those that didn't would be sickly, and if there wasn't any formula, they chances are they could be malnourished, maybe not live through childhood, infancy, mortality rates, things like that.
So Alcoholico says he likes big butts, and that's instinctual.
Well, he does.
Rachel Ogino chat room says that boobs are awesome, and right, I get it, but I agree, boobs are awesome, but I'm still not buying this. I'm still not buying this because I don't see the direct one-to-one with survival.
Well, if you can't eat, you die.
If you don't have the instinct.
Until recently, when we have formula.
Right.
So, but going back to what I forget someone was saying, milk production is entirely independent of breast size. So larger breasts are not better at producing milk. It's the same.
Yeah, breast size doesn't matter as far as
Okay. So,
that goes,
but we have differing opinions on preferred boob size. So that's immaterial. What we both really like is the nipple, and the nipple is like the flower to the fruit fly.
But I don't go to nipples for my nourishment.
But you did.
But
Well,
you
you
did.
potentially could have as a young infant could have gone to it for nourishment.
But as a human,
I don't know if your mother breastfeed or not. That's something I don't know.
Although
Yeah,
there
she
is
did,
a
but
point that
But no, but wait. Because as an infant, human infants cannot, they are not ambulatory. They
Right.
can't say, oh, I'm going to walk over here. Oh, there's a nipple. They are placed there. The parents do that. So there's no worthwhile instinct to identifying and adoring and wanting boobs.
Then it's in a taught behavior to where it's like if once that a child gets held, like one of the girls in the group when she brought her kid to meet up, she was like, but be careful because you never know, he might try to, and if you're holding him, he might try to
Grab you.
attach or whatever. And it's just like, okay, but so then it's a taught behavior. It's not necessarily instinctual, and that's their survival.
Well,
That's the way they go.
I think latching is very clearly, a survival thing. I mean, if
Babies put all kinds of stuff in their mouth and try to suck on it. That's just they do that.
don't let me tell you.
Ooh.
is it a learned trait or is it a vestigial trait? Something that perhaps 200,000 years ago that our offspring could crawl to it while they were sleeping.
Well, 'cause I would assume in
Or
caveman days they kept breastfeeding for quite some time. I
Right.
would assume they didn't just stop when they're 3 because oh, it's weird now or something. Because they're fucking cavemen.
Okay, so in the chat room, they're having this long discussion. I think the first part of it is not worth talking about, but Hecky13 ultimately has said that she wouldn't agree that the nipple is the main attraction. Do you guys disagree with? I kind of feel like it is.
I don't know if it's the nipple that's main attraction. I from what I've read, the nipple is
I love how
darker.
you're doing
But the nipple is darker so that they can see it better, so they know oh, here it is.
Not,
I'll latch onto it.
I
don't
just
think
like that
she's-
youed done more research than I have.
Yeah,
I like boobs.
I think we're talking about
Say.
I think we're talking about sexuality now.
Yeah, not latching, but
Oh, okay.
sexuality. Is the nipple Well, I don't know. I don't know if the nipple is what is the
I don't know. I
is
really
the
like
prize
I
because
really
that's
like
what's
under
taboo.
boob. Like that's like my favorite
Yeah,
part.
See,
I agree.
Yeah.
And
See,
people like cleavage, and
Yeah, Tor, I don't think it's necessarily about the nipple for me
but-
even.
But I'm
yeah.
only gonna get really excited if I see nipple. Like otherwise,
Oh.
I'm used to it and I've seen it. But that I think.
But
is
I think
learned
that's more of a
behavior.
social
Yeah.
thing. It's like, oh, I don't get to see it very often, so when I do, it's like, ooh.
But
yeah.
okay, but just sexually and sociologically, isn't the nipple the main attraction? I'm just gonna say, like, I mean, there's no part of the boob that I don't like. I like
Yeah.
all the boob, but nipples especially are very interesting.
See, but I like sucking around the whole thing, not just necessarily
Yeah, you
the
can't
nipples.
just focus on the
Yeah,
nipple. You kind of
I
have
do.
to,
Yeah.
a little caress like the whole thing.
So
yeah.
that's why I like the bigger boobs, so I can just get all around that.
You gotta get that nice boob sweat from underneath.
Yeah.
That is, I feel like there's a lot of women who are self-conscious about boob sweat, and like I feel like that,
Nah, you gotta own that. You
That's
just gotta
right?
own that.
Oh,
yeah.
boob sweat is the best.
Well, hold on, guys.
It is a little hot in here. Okay.
Let's just say if there was a scale and boob sweat was on it and ball sweat was on it,
Oh, up here. Yeah. Nope. Nope.
No, I don't think anyone likes ball sweat. Does anyone? I'll let the chat room catch up on that one, but I don't think anyone is a fan
No.
of ball sweat. But like boob sweat, I kind of like. I
I don't know if we have any gay members. Maybe that'd be a
I
question.
don't
of,
think so.
Well, no, I guess straight women. I don't know.
Yeah, Tor. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
it's
But-
not
Yeah,
like
it's not gross,
But,
maybe.
yeah.
But, I
But
mean,
it's not something you
probably-
look forward to.
Right. But like
But I mean, Arturo's mechanic, to where he's like working outside and he's
dude.
out there and he
Dude.
smells. You know what I mean? Like
That's part of the allure.
okay.
to where he's my little grease monkey.
So the,
Just call
the
him
chat
out.
room keeps asking about moobs, and so
Oh, man boobs,
What,
okay.
Yeah, what's the deal
I think that's obvious. I think the answer to that is obvious, which is why I skipped over it earlier.
with? Oh, okay.
because
Well, because they came back to it, and I figured
yeah,
we better
no.
address
I think
it.
I think I almost brought it up, and I was like, oh, it's really obvious that there is no evolutionary advantage from a survival perspective or from a nourishment perspective. We were talking about people.
Well, actually, Bill and I was talking about this just like
He
yesterday.
was talking about moobs,
Well, the question was like, why do men
I gotta
have
Google
nipples
this.
and stuff, right? So,
but because they started out as women.
well, not only that, it's we haven't got rid of them through an evolutionary process because there's been no need for it, so we haven't selected it out of our.
But I mean,
you
by
know.
default, every organism
Yeah, it starts
is
as a
female,
woman, yeah,
and
until the man sperm gets there. Yeah.
no.
Well,
No, every fertilized egg starts as a woman,
Oh, well, yeah.
as a female organism, and it becomes male through, I think, chemical interactions. But
The Y chromosome happens because of a certain chemical reaction at a certain temperature at a certain time. But until then,
Nerds.
the body is grown as if it's a female. That's why we have nipples. It's anyway. But
Okay.
yes,
okay, so I thought we were done, but Tech Leslie in the chat room says that she had to take her bra off today, and it was so bad. So I want to just like get everyone's.
That's why I love her
take.
so much.
Yeah, right. But I want to get everyone's take on this. Is like, I don't think women can get sweaty to a point where I wouldn't still find that attractive. I really don't think that can happen. I think like even if I ran with someone for 5K, we'd come back and I would still be into it.
it's not a matter of running a 5K. It's imagine camping for a week with no
Okay,
shower.
that's different.
facility.
That's
Is
different.
it?
That's
No,
it.
But if we're both smelly,
No,
Uh,
but at the same time, that whole not cleanliness thing turns into a whole cleanliness thing when you haven't gone, or when you have gone that long without a shower. Your hormones and your body, it still kind of goes into a whole different.
yeah, the inside's still great.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong in there.
It's a whole thing. It's a thing.
Stewing in your
Oh.
disgustingness is like something totally different
We
than
went
just
camping. I
being-
didn't
just
shower.
sweating. I've heard. Okay.
Oh.
Rachel OG in the chat room says that taking off the bra is the best part of the day, and I've heard that from so many people. It makes me want to wear a bra for a day just to experience.
But I don't think you would get the same because you don't
I don't
have
know,
like
maybe
a
I would.
mass to hold
But
up.
it's,
You
there.
don't know.
it's still something there. So I mean, why not?
What part of it is it that is what I mean? Is it down here? Is it the tension on the underwire,
underwire, yeah.
or is it the
these guys just want to go. You know, they just want to be them, and I gotta be proper at work all
I
day
can't
long.
make a direct comparison, but if you've ever worn like socks that have too much elastic in them, and then you take them off and you wiggle your toes, and you're like, ah.
Oh, there's so much good stuff going on in our chat room. Like seriously, we're never gonna end this stuff. Oh God. There was something else before I get to this one. God, where'd it go? They're like seriously, they're talking about so much good stuff. So Ustreamer 3905 says, "Do you think boobs are sexually attractive to societies in hotter climates that don't cover them?" And I kind of think that they are. I don't know this. This is pure speculation drawn completely out of my ass. But I think that while they're probably not as big a deal as they are in the West,
Well, they're still going to react to stimulation.
right?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, even if it's just the smallest part that's covered, just because it's hotter there,
Right.
yeah, it's still something.
Well, even if it was some Native American South Africa or South or North,
What?
one of those indigenous tribes that hasn't had human
get your shit
contact.
together,
The
bro.
South, Northwest,
The-
East people.
I think they're in the Antarctic
The South
now. I don't
American
know.
tribes that have never been touched by humanity, and they all just run around,
touched where?
that haven't been touched by like the world. Or
Yeah, yeah.
anyhow,
Keep going, keep going.
anyhow, like I'm sure like the people in that society still like enjoy having sex. I'm
They
sure
know it's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can get used to seeing it, but if you want to think about it, it can still be sexual to you.
Well, I guess it's kind of like
Because-
like you talk to guys that are like DJs at like strip clubs and everything, and they're like after a while it's like, whatever. But I bet you anything, when they go home to their wife or their girlfriend or whatever, and like they're all up in them,
A
titties.
different
They're
environment,
probably
yeah.
all about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only one here that's like grown insensitive to like some bland porn, and you need something more.
No, I feel you, bro. I totally feel
Well,
you.
if you gotta find that really sensitive stuff on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
let me go entirely in the opposite direction and make a really weird confession, because like I've actually come full circle, and like
It's like I can't get off unless like it's just her ankles showing now.
that's kind of true. No, but like I'm so like over the over the top porn stuff
Over
that
the-
like
oh.
I kind of the more just like normal it is, like the more I'm just like, oh yeah.
Oh, it's just like
Like-
a dude and his wife, and the kids are annoying him. They just lock the door and they just go and like hit it real quick, and then they leave.
No, but I mean just like sweet or whatever. I'm just like saying like normal, not like oh they're like hanging upside down and they're there's the mule is there. I mean I totally went through that.
Are
like,
you saying that you're desensitized to extreme porn?
Yes, I am. Like I am no longer turned on by donkeys hanging upside down with the missions. Like
I'm trying to think what the
horses.
site was called.
It's all cyclical, you know.
It's just like yeah, you have your your donkey hanging from the ceiling phase, then you go to your
I'm trying to think. There was a site that was set up. It was like real sex, but not like the show. But it was like a deal where basically it was like it's ran by a community, and it's like we want people to upload videos of them and their
Yep.
partners having real
Yep.
sex. Wear condoms. If you show the position switches. Everyone being awkward. Like I forget what the site was called. And it seems like maybe that'd be something you'd be into.
yeah. No, I'm totally into it. I think I know what you're talking about. I think
I forget what it's
think I've been
called.
on that.
It's been a long
That's
time.
weird.
I think some women have recommended that site.
I've watched average people have sex. It's not that hot.
I don't know. Some of it can be.
It's fine if
depending
you're
on.
in it. I mean, it's perfectly hot if you're involved in it. But I mean, most of the time when you see the amateur porn or whatever, it's just somebody's ass going up and down.
Oh, God, we're never going to stop this show because there's so much good stuff going on in the chat room. So Alcoholico says internet porn is boring. I'm back on the Sears catalog. I feel you, man. I feel you. And then Hecky13, she says that nudity is not a turn on for her. Put a woman in knee-high socks and an oversized like baseball shirt. Oh my God.
Which is very attractive.
I gotta say, there's like really something to less being more.
Yeah.
I think that if I had a choice between a woman completely naked and a woman in things, I'd probably take the things. Here's the other thing, because Tech Leslie, I think a while ago, says that they're making bras for men, and I found this, and everyone must look
What in the?
Well, that's just for like cross dressers, right?
No, although I don't know about this one. I
Oh,
don't
you
think
see?
so.
You just need one. You need to want to get you need to
I
get a
don't-
sexy one.
This one is kind of good.
You should probably tell your
Get
wife
something
first
sexy.
before you buy one.
Okay,
She'll be fine.
unless they're for some what
You need to go fund me for this.
fetish or whatever you're into. I like bras are there to support, right? So I don't.
But bras are also
They're
just
also very
sexy.
pretty,
They're
you
sexy
know?
in their own right.
Yeah.
They're to me they're only sexy because of what they're covering up. I'm not gonna lie. I've never.
You don't
seen,
think they're not going to be covering up something
No.
in there?
No, and
No,
I've never
no,
seen.
come on.
I've never seen a bra laying on the ground and been like, "Ooh, a bra."
I-
Unless I was like,
Unless you know
10.
Christian is like also in the room with the lights off.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I remember a very specific point. This was probably maybe 10 or 15 years ago. Going through a friend of mine's apartment and like her bras in the front. I'm like, oh. I'm just saying. I'm like,
All right. I mean, other than the fact that seeing a bra on the ground makes me think of boobies. That's
right.
I don't. But the bra itself to me.
And
is,
unfortunately, it happens even when it's in your mom's bedroom.
I don't know, but like,
Aw.
although,
Aw.
here's the other thing. Like I have, this is something that didn't occur to me till just now. But there are like certain kind of bras where, I mean, there's certain kinds of things that I like about bras. So like, especially I have. I'm not going to go into it because it's really boring. But like,
Oh, really? No, I don't think it's boring.
the I don't know what they call the back part, but the like, little back
The
part. There's like a certain kind of thing where like I'm just like, oh, like
The hook?
looking at like the whole strap on the back, and like there's a thing where like looking at a woman's back when all she's wearing is bra, and you're just like looking at that. I'm like, oh, that is freaking awesome.
Where it's pinching the skin and
Like everything's like folding over it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Reb. Thank you.
I'm totally a front clasp kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't have much experience with those, but I've always thought
I've always been terrible at the reach around.
Yeah, I had to
clasp.
use both hands.
Yeah,
I can't
I'm
do it.
terrible.
No.
Yeah.
That's totally a two.
Most of the time, I'm like, you just take it off freaking the bed.
I get naked really fast.
And let's time it. Go. All right, seriously, let's just. No one look at what they're saying in the chat room. They're way too fucking entertaining tonight.
Okay.
Let's just shut this whole fucking thing down. Thank you for coming this week, and I hope you go home and come again. And sorry we got off to a late start, and sorry about your car, Reb.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens.
Dude, props to Reb for showing up.
Yeah,
Dude,
right.
for real.
Well, it was like 2 seconds away, and
Yeah.
there's
Might as
nothing
well
better for me
hang
to do now. So I can't go anywhere. So.
It's so awful.
All right, see you guys next week.